Hey everyone, Dr. FJ. This is Take Charge of Your Health, episode 1. We're going to go over fibromyalgia, okay? And a thing, really misunderstood issue. You know when you're calling symptoms a disease process, something's out of whack. What I mean by that is just break down the name, right? Fibromyalgia, fibrous or connective tissue, and myalgia, muscle pain. So fibrous or connective tissue muscle pain. So they're just describing your symptoms in Latin and using this as and that's not a disease process, like cephalgia, head pain, cervicalgia, neck pain, lumbalgia, low back pain. So by putting it in Latin doesn't make it a disease process. Okay, you're just defining the symptoms. Now the symptoms are real and they're excruciating and they're painful and they destroy people's lives. And I get people every week coming in with this issue and they've been through the gauntlet. They've been, super toxic drugs. Lots of times they're told they're making the symptoms up or the symptoms are going on in their head. It's crazy, and they usually don't respond well. They're really forceful chiropractic either. Their nervous system is so sensitive and so overstimulated, and we'll get into some of those reasons why in a little bit. And it's devastating. A lot of times these people are really quit. I have people tell me if I can't help them, they're going to commit suicide. It's that serious. Okay, so the issue is very, very real, but it's not a disease process. Okay, it's just severe chronic pain, and we've got to figure out why. We got to get to the cause of the problem and fix it. That doesn't mean it's easy, and it doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight, but you can do it, and I'm going to go through some of those reasons why. And I appreciate you taking the time to learn and to educate yourselves. That's the key. It's the first step in taking charge of your health. Is getting the knowledge, right? Because you can have all the commitment in the world, but if your knowledge, your strategy's off. I live in Wisconsin. I'm 2 hours north of Chicago. If I start driving north, and my goal is to get to Chicago, well, my strategy's off, right? I'm never going to get there. It doesn't matter how committed I am. I'm not going to go around the world and come into Chicago, okay? And that's the devastating part, because I see so many people and they're trying, and they're committed, and they're doing everything they think is right. And they just can't feel good for a moment. Okay, so our goal tonight is to hopefully help you change that. And please leave comments, questions. I'd love to answer and help you in any way possible. I'm trying low tech, then we'll do some other talks, high tech. Let me know which the people out there like. Okay, but then again, thank you for joining us, and we're going to get into it right now. So my story, I was playing tennis in college, and before that I grew up my whole childhood. Father's a chiropractor, mother was an herbalist, nutritionist, iridologist. I knew as a little kid when I wasn't feeling good to take garlic, take golden seal and echinacea, take extra vitamin C. We were always taking chlorella. I knew these things just because that's what my parents, they taught me that right away. We had no Tylenol or aspirin ever. There was none in our home. Okay, so I grew up this kind of all-natural, vitalistic, inside-out philosophy, and I didn't really appreciate it until I was in college playing tennis, and I went back to hit overhead, and my back just lit up on fire. Okay, and I had some minor injuries before, but nothing major. And I finished the match, and the next day it's just getting worse and getting worse. I went to my athletic trainer: ice, heat, stim, ultrasound, massage, everything. Nothing's working. It just keeps getting worse and keeping my back just tightening. It just felt like it was steel. And it taught me one of the greatest lessons of my life, though, because I was living a mile from the beach. I'm playing Division I sport, which has all been a goal of mine. It was my freshman year. I was playing tennis. I'm playing really well. I'm winning most of my matches. So everything should be great. Beautiful weather, South Florida, Boca area. But I was miserable. Okay, I was absolutely miserable. I'm telling you, if you don't have your health and you don't feel good, nothing else matters. So it should be the top priority, always, and yet it's usually the least priority for most people until they lose it, like me. And I never appreciated it because I'd always been healthy and I always felt good. I remember it got so bad one night, I was lying on my bed crying. I was a grown man, crying, because I just didn't want to feel it. At this point, it had been months, and I went home, my father checked my back, adjusted me, and I got relief. It wasn't perfect, wasn't all the way gone, but I got relief. I remember the hope it gave me, and that's when I decided I wanted to be a chiropractor. That's when I decided I wanted to help people the same way, help change their lives. And then years later, I'll get into this a little bit, years later, the pain started coming back, and it kind of took me on this journey, and I got into a whole different technique than where I started after I graduated chiropractic school. So that's my story. One thing you've got to look at is your philosophy, your attitude, because if your attitude's not there, if your philosophy's not right, you're not going to put in the hard yards to get healthy, because it won't be easy, all right? It's not going to be easy to be able to. It takes discipline, it takes commitment, and you won't have that commitment if you don't believe you can have it, right? If you don't believe that you can be healthy, if you think, like a lot of people do, that you were destined to be sick and you were pre-programmed to be sick, and then your genetics just cause you to be sick, right? I have patients that come in and medical doctor told them, well, you would have had a heart attack either way. Not true. Totally not true. And we know now the research in genetics and epigenetics and genetic expression is different than just genetics. Okay? So genetic expression makes up 93 to 97% of diseases. 93 to 97%. Genetic expression, which means how you treat your body is going to decide how healthy you are. So it's what you do to the vehicle, how you take care of it, will decide if you're going to be healthy or not. So you've got to believe health is out of control, and then you've got to believe that health is a dynamic continuum, okay? So if you eat something healthy, you get rest, you get a nice specific chiropractic adjustment, you drink some really healthy juice, you take a bunch of supplements, you laugh with friends, you do all this positive stuff, well, now you're building health. See, health is like a checking account. You got to build up a surplus, and then you can make some withdrawals. You can have some fun and whatever your vices is. If you like to have a few drinks, you like to have a soda, or you like to have pizza, or whatever, you like ice cream, you can have some of that if you've built up the surplus, right? But what happens is we draw, then you're overdrawn, right? And what happens at a bank? They don't let you take any more money out, okay? They actually fine you and they charge you, okay? And that's what happens with your body. Then you get a symptom. Now you can treat the symptom, kill the symptom with some over-the-counter, or get something more intense prescribed to you, and you'll feel better for a short time, but it's going to come at a cost. Eventually, you're going to build up a tolerance to that, or it's just going to, just stop working, or you're going to get a different issue, right? And then you get a new med or a new drug for that issue, and it just builds. And now drugs do have their place, and they are necessary, but we're taking, over half the world's medication, the entire world, and the U.S. is, and we are one of the sickest countries in the world. So our current approach, our current strategy isn't working. So we've got to make a change. So, fibromyalgia, there's a few things you need to understand about fibro. If you go, you're probably going to get anti-inflammatories, muscle relaxers, or even now there's some medications designed specifically for fibro. I'm not telling you to get off those drugs, okay? But they're not going to address the cause of the problem. Okay, for the cause of the problem, you got to look at toxicity and you got to look at alignment, period. And you got to figure out how to fix them. So chronic inflammation is the issue with fibromyalgia, okay? And chronic inflammation can happen for a few reasons. One, you can be super toxic all over. Very commonly, you can have poor digestion or leaky gut. You see that with fibromyalgia all the time. And what happens is when you eat, things get through your gut lining that aren't supposed to get through, and it goes straight into the bloodstream. Okay, and it's certain things are supposed to do that, but materials do that aren't supposed to, and your body recognizes those invaders as dangerous. Doesn't know what it is. It's saying it's got to be virus or bacteria or something we don't want in here. We're going to attack it. Body attacks it with inflammation. Okay. Now you eat again, it happens again, it attacks it with inflammation. Now you eat again, it happens again, you attacks it with inflammation. Now you eat again, it happens again, you attacks it with inflammation. And then you become chronically inflamed. When you're chronically inflamed, what happens? Your nerves start to get overreactive. Okay, and then you can get pain all over, and there's no real reason. You just have this severe pain. And that's why a lot of times with fibro they say, oh, it's in your head, you're making it up. No. Usually it's because you're chronically inflamed. Now, chronically inflammation can always also happen because you're chronically out of alignment. and gravity and movements are just constantly damaging your muscles, joints, and nerves. Same way if you drive a car that's the frame is way out of alignment, you constantly damage those tires unevenly, you damage them faster than they should. Same with the body. When you're out of alignment, going through life like that, the muscles, joints, and nerves are getting damaged unnecessarily. Okay, and that damage over time can become severe. And then if you add chronic misalignment, which you see all the time with chronic toxicity and terrible digestion, now you have a problem. Now you have a really, really bad problem. So, two things we want to look at more than anything: alignment, digestion. And if you wanted to heal any issue beyond fibromyalgia, a lot of times I give different talks in my community, and the way you address a lot of conditions is the same. Fix alignment, fix digestion. You're going to help a lot of issues. Sometimes you got to get into the glandular things and that stuff. But a ton of issues, neuropathies, boom. Digestive issues, obviously, alignment and digestion, like acid reflux, IBS, things like that. You got to get this stuff sorted out. It's just all kinds of issues that will improve when you address these issues. Okay, so alignment, digestion. So what can create a lot of inflammation? Well, what do you want to do? How do you want to avoid? Well, you want to avoid stress. Always avoid unnecessary stress. Because when that nervous system, that fight or flight gets fired, your body naturally shuts down digestion. It literally shuts down your immune system. So if you're always stressed out of your mind, you're suppressing your immune system and your digestion constantly. So you've got to do some meditation or just get away from certain people or events that are stressing you out. Now, meditation will be huge. Exercise, if you can. Sometimes with fibro, they can't exercise yet. So it's just really meditation, rest. That will help deal with the emotional stresses. Avoid statin drugs. They damage the central and peripheral nervous system. And you may have to address emotional traumas. Okay, you see this with fibro and chronic pain sometimes. Someone had a super unfortunate event and it just developed all kinds of pain and issues. So you might have to, BEST is a technique. There's also emotional freedom techniques that can help you, or just going and talking with someone maybe will help you address those emotional traumas, because it's going to be really important if you want to get over it to address those emotional traumas. Then you want to avoid certain things. I would avoid gluten, okay? Most people are allergic to gluten, and I would avoid casein. Casein is a protein in milk that is really hard on your digestive system, okay, and can create a lot of inflammation. So avoid processed foods too. You want to really go whole, raw foods. You want to go greens as much as possible. And sugars, all sweeteners are inflammatory and they're going to make it worse. No sweeteners. There's a hierarchy. Artificial sweeteners are the worst, then white sugar, artificial sweeteners are the worst. Sorry, we'll start down, that makes more sense. Artificial sweetener, high fructose corn syrup, white sugar, then brown sugar, then stevia or molasses, things like that. Honey, some nice local raw honey, those are the best. Okay? You want to avoid sweeteners big time if you have fibromyalgia. Okay, I can't hit that enough. So dairy, stay away from it. And then once you're whole and you're well, if you don't have a dairy allergy, you can have a little bit of it, right? Because you've built up that bank account. You've built up that tolerance and that health. And you can have some gluten, right? I love a sandwich, but you can't have them all the time. Okay. And if you're sick and you're overdrawn, now there's no days off, guys. Normally I practice 5 days off, 2 days on for me and my family to stay healthy. Okay, but if you're sick, there's no days off. Okay, you've got to eat the right stuff, do the right things every day until you get well, until you heal. That can take months, possibly years. That's just the reality of it, okay? So there's no days off until you get that healthy. Then you can have some dairy, then you can have some grains, then you can have some sweeteners, okay? But then again, try to get the good sweeteners. And if you're not allergic to milk, go get the whole raw milk, okay? And if you're not allergic to grains, and a lot of the grains are just because they're not making bread the way they used to. They're using that fast-rising yeast. If you do it the old way with the slow fermenting process, it breaks down a lot of the minerals and different things and enzymes and all that stuff in the bread gets broken down, and they found a lot of people that thought they were gluten intolerant weren't. And if you get whole raw milk, with the natural enzymes, lots of times people who are intolerant and allergic to milk can have whole raw milk from like a grass-fed cow, a healthy cow, and it won't affect them. So a lot of stuff going on there. You want to make sure you're getting a lot of high fats, okay? So you have omega-3s and you have omega-6s. And I have people that come in here all the time, well, my grandma lived to be 105 and she didn't know any of this. Why should I know it? I go, well, your grandma, when she got beef, that beef ate grass. She didn't have to think about it. That's just all there was. And then they got omega-3s. When she got fish, they were wild-caught fish. They had omega-3s. When they got butter, when they got milk, it was from a grass-fed cow, they got omega-3s. Then factory farming came in. And they just started, and we had this surplus of corn, so they just started feeding everything corn. Well, if it doesn't eat green or eat something that eats green, there's no omega-3s. So if the cow eats corn, no omega-3s. If the fish eats corn, no omega-3s. If the fish eats algae or krill or another fish that eats algae or krill, then there's omega-3s. Okay, so we've got to get high doses for the nervous system to allow that brain and nervous system to heal of omega-3s. All right, and if you've been diagnosed with it and you also have another issue like you're somewhere on the autism spectrum, I would look at low dose frequent chelation. You probably have heavy metal toxicity and you need to get that out. Or if you had a bunch of shots and then all of a sudden you start getting, there's probably some heavy metals in there and you want to get those heavy metals out. Something else to consider. Okay, so you want to avoid the corn oils, canola, soy oil, margarine. Stay away from all of that. Okay, shortening. Good. What you want: the coconut oils, the olive oils, the grass-fed butters, the ghees. You want to get that stuff. Flaxseed, chia seeds. And you need a ton. Okay, you need a lot of this. So make sure you could put like coconut in your coffee. That's been real popular. I do that every morning. We only have grass-fed butter now, so we also have ghee. I just like grass-fed butter better. Lots of coconut. We get good, high-quality olive oil. So you want to just super load your body with all of that stuff. Number one reason supplements and different things don't work, you're not taking enough. Okay, a maintenance dose is different than a healing dose. Last time you have to double, triple, or even quadruple a healing dose. Okay, if you're taking something, then you need a quality source. So you need to take the right amount, and you need a quality source. Lots of times, if you go to Walgreens, Walmart, GNC's, Costco's, their supplements have very low quality, hardly anything in there. They're just not going to do the job. So you want to get your supplements from a naturopath, a chiropractor, acupuncturist, organic health food store, someone who's really into health. That's where you want to get your supplements. You can get them online, but make sure you get them from a company. There's a lot of good ones, but just make sure you're getting them from a quality company. Look at a detox, like I said, a mercury heavy metal detox, which is what that low dose frequent chelation is. Look at just another form. Standard Process has a really nice detox. There's tons of detox, but get a good one. Lots of times these detoxes are toxic. You lose weight, but you're slamming in, artificial sweeteners and all these other toxic chemicals, which is not going to be good for the fibro. Okay, so again, fibromyalgia, connective tissue muscle pain. What do we need to do? We need good fats to heal the body. We need to get digestion in order. So let's get on some apple cider vinegar. What's that going to do? That's going to kill the bad bacteria in your gut. Lots of time, and if you have fibro and acid reflux, there's bad bacteria, and it's so misunderstood. Okay, and then they put you on some kind of medication that lowers the acid in your gut, making everything worse. Okay, Okay, well, how it works is when you get that bad bacteria, it causes inflammation, and that opening opens up, and then acid from the stomach comes up. So lowering the acid isn't addressing the cause. You actually need to make the stomach more acidic, which will kill that bad bacteria, and then the swelling goes away, and the acid reflux goes away. And then a lot of times that leaky gut goes away. So apple cider vinegar, 2-3 times a day, just so you can just do a teaspoon or a tablespoon. It'll probably burn really bad. When you need it, it burns usually. I can do it and I get a mild burn, but I've been doing it a long time. So if it burns a ton, mix it with water or some kind of juice, but take it consistently 3 times a day. That will really help. And you can consult with your physician or your healthcare practitioner, make sure it's okay for you, but consider doing that. All right, and then probiotics. Let's get on some probiotics and let's cleanse the gut. Let's take the bad bacteria, let's put the good bacteria in, and then let's get on a chlorella or a spirulina. If you have any kind of autism spectrum, take the spirulina, or if you have a lot of digestive issues, spirulina will be a little easier to digest, and that will help feed the good bacteria in your gut. Remember, you want lots of greens every day, and if you listen to this talk and all you do is you cut out the sweeteners and you increase the greens, what you've done for your body is massive. Let's also just make sure we're getting half our body weight in ounces of water every day. These things are simple. You probably know a lot of this, but the key is, are you doing it? It's not what you know, it's what you do. And it's what you do consistently most of the time. Okay? Sleep, rest is massive when you're healing. Okay? Try to get into bed 8 hours before you have to wake up, and try to spend 20-30 minutes in the middle of your day. Get out of gravity, close your eyes. I meditate every morning, every lunch. I have to, or else I just, I have people coming to me and they're sick and they're suffering, and if I don't help them, they have nowhere else to go. A lot of people come to me, they've been everywhere. Some people are driving hours to get here. That's a lot to take on. Someone just gives you their sick baby or brings their spouse in, and so I have to meditate to allow me to handle that stress and stay focused, stay centered. So meditation for me is huge, and you've got to rest if you're going to heal. That's when your body's going to do the vast majority healing, is when you rest. So digestion, let's get that sorted out. Apple cider, that's very simple. Apple cider vinegar, probiotics, and a spirulina or a chlorella is a great place to start. Now you can get more in depth. You might need a digestive enzyme. Celery juice, also excellent. Start with a bit, 6 to 8, 10 ounces in the morning. That's going to help that acid and rebuild that acid. It also help detox that liver. So that's another great way to really get that digestion in order. Prebiotics, probiotics, killing the bad bacteria. Vitamin D. High doses of vitamin D has a huge impact. Vitamin D is really important for the immune system. If it's summertime, get out, get that sun. If you're in Wisconsin, sun's out 2-3 months a year, so you need to get a supplement for that and get a good quality and take high doses. Several thousand IU's. If you're really going to get over this, you're going to need to most likely find a trained professional to help you do it. But this will give you, you can kind of gauge what to do. Also, turmerics, curcumin, boswellia are all nice natural anti-inflammatories. And then antioxidants. Let's get on a lot of antioxidants to help inflammation happen properly. Okay? So we want to allow inflammation to happen properly, but also want to take things to make sure we aren't over-inflamed. We want to remove the irritants that are causing the inflammation unnecessarily. Then the antioxidants will help it happen properly. And the other herbs will make sure there's nothing unnecessary in your body. Because habits, your body builds up habits too. If it's used to being chronic inflamed, it's going to need help to help learn to re-regulate itself. So a lot of those turmerics, curcumins, boswellias can help with that. And it'll just get you some relief too. We'll take large doses of it. And again, consult, but that will help. Just help you get relief faster. CoQ10, iodine, and sulfur, also really good supplements. CoQ10 helps with creating ATP. Iodine and sulfur, really important. Iodine with the thyroid, so all very, very important for allowing your body to heal. I know it can be feel like overwhelming, like you're drinking from a fire hose. So just start with 1 or 2 and just be consistent with it. And then as you build momentum, add to it. And don't quit if after 3 days you still feel terrible. Okay, you'll get there. You can be healthy. You can be healthy. It's just going to take some time and some discipline, and you got to get the know-how to know what you need to do. So a couple things. If you're looking to get off grains, Against All Grains is a great resource. You can go paleo, Gerson therapy too, juicing, really, really healthy. So if nothing's working, consider doing one of those real intense detoxes. You could also look at a food allergy test. You can do some saliva tests, hair mineral analysis. You want to get more in depth. Now, obviously, a trained professional needs to do these, but those are other things where you can get more in depth. So remember, I know this, you'll start thinking it's expensive, but over 50% of bankruptcies is caused by medical bills. It's a lot more expensive to get sick, and your life sucks. So let's get back feeling good again. Invest in you. Spend a little bit more money on quality food. Spend a little more money on quality supplements. Take care of yourself. It's worth it. You're worth it. Okay, and you can be healthy. Believe it. You can be healthy and live the highest quality life. It's just going to take some time to get back where we want to go. So remember, every cause has an effect. And with the human body, you got to look physical, you got to look chemical, and you got to look emotional. We talked about looking at the emotional traumas. Then chemically is going to be digestion, physically is going to be alignment. And then the rest, dream, I call it diet, rest, exercise, alignment, mental health, getting those in all in where it will allow you physically, chemically, and mentally to be imbalanced. Okay, the exercising. So alignment, you've got to check alignment, and you're going to see where we'll put up some x-rays where you can see with NUCCA how when your head and neck are off center, it throws everything off. So you got to find a chiropractor, a specific corrective chiropractor. They're going to do x-rays. If you're in Europe and they can't take x-rays, look for techniques like SOT or DNFT. Those are the best techniques with no x-rays. Aren't many of them that do it right in America, but look for that. In the States, though, unless you find a very few that do those techniques right, x-rays. You're going to want specific x-rays, and you're going to do pre and post x-rays. Like I practice NUCCA. That's pre and post x-rays, and we also do pre and post postural scans. So you're going to see the posture get better, and we're going to make sure on x-ray we got it fixed. Okay, NUCCA does that, Clear Institute does that, Grostic, Orthospinology, all very similar, AO does that, CBP Pedibond. So you want to find a specific corrective chiropractor to get that alignment fixed. That's going to allow the nervous system to function more efficiently, allow the muscles and joints, connective tissue and muscles to stop being damaged and start healing. So we're going to get you in alignment so gravity stops damaging you. We're going to give your body the nutrients it needs. We're going to clean up your digestion, give your body the nutrients it needs to heal the tissues. Right? Every year your body should be 100% new. Every cell should be new. So you got to have those nutrients to continue to recreate yourself. So we're going to give your body those, and then we're also going to get this area in perfect alignment. So now the master controller in the human body, the brain stem, can work properly. My heart's pumping right now, my lungs are breathing, my pancreas is secreting, my liver's detoxing, my kidneys are filtering, and all that's being controlled right here. Just me, I don't have to think about holding myself up against gravity, that's being controlled right here. So it's the most important area to make sure you're in alignment. And when your head goes off, your body distorts. Okay, so you've got to get this area centered in alignment. Roger Sperry won the Nobel Peace Prize for saying posture affects the nervous system. It affects nervous system function. So when your posture is all jacked, it's affecting how your nervous system is functioning. So the master controller in the human body that's going to tell your heart what to do, tell your lungs what to do, tell your liver and kidneys what to do, tell every cell in your body what to do, isn't functioning right when your posture's off. Not going to function right. So we've got to get you in alignment. I've had a ton of fibromyalgia patients. None of them have ever been in alignment. Okay? go get checked by a specific quality chiropractor that's going to take pre and post x-rays, is going to make sure your posture is cleared pre and post. All right. So with NUCCA, that's the technique we're going to use to fix alignment. We'll go here, NUCCA, National Upper Cervical Chiropractic Association. What we do is we take x-rays before and after. We'll show you a few x-rays you can see. We analyze them, and then we do a very light force to center the head over the neck. And the cool thing in NUCCA, you can do it on one visit a lot of times. Many times it takes several hours, so sometimes people have to have follow-up visits, so they just can't be here that long. And you take x-rays to confirm it, and you check people's posture to confirm it. Hard to change an x-ray, hard to change someone's posture when they're standing. It takes a lot of skill. But when you do that, again, you're allowing the muscles, joints, and nerves to start healing. And that's how we've helped many, many fibromyalgia patients. That's why people will drive lots of times hours to get to our office. It's not because I'm super special. It's just knowing how to get them fixed and understanding the body's very smart. Okay, so you just got to learn to listen to the body, and it'll tell you what you need to do. So with NUCCA, there's no cracking of the spine. It's all very, very gentle, so that works really well with fibromyalgia. When I used to do traditional chiropractic, I was twisting. Lots of times fibro people did not respond well to that. They're just so sensitive. So it's a very light force, again, to center that head and the neck, and make sure we get your body in alignment so the body can start healing from the inside out. You're addressing the cause of the problem. Okay, you're not treating symptoms, you're addressing the cause. And I know I can't say that enough. That's the key to getting you your life back. Addressing the cause. So, if you have any questions, please leave them below. Comment. Let me know if you've done anything else that's really worked well for you. That'd be great. If you have any questions, again, please leave them. But just to review, alignment and digestion. So superload your body with nutrients, with greens, with high quality fats. Just load it up. Lots of water. Okay, and let's minimize inflammation unnecessarily by getting your digestion cleaned up. I make sure we're not putting in a lot of sweeteners and processed foods that are going to irritate our body, and GMOs. Let's get rid of all of that stuff that's your body isn't designed to have. It's going to irritate your body and can create inflammation or all kinds of other things. Okay, so we're going to get good quality nutrients and tons of it in. We're going to avoid a lot of the nasty stuff. We're going to take some specialized supplements like the probiotics and whatnot to get the digestion in order, and then we're going to go to a specific chiropractor and get our alignment fixed and change your life. So if you want more information, you can sign up. Go to westbendchiropractor.com. You learn more about me if you want, and you can sign up for our email newsletter. You can also check us out on Instagram and some of the other platforms. We're just throwing out all kinds of content to help you take charge of your health, help you feel good again, okay? So, again, thank you for coming out. Remember, health is not a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. You can be healthy and live the highest quality of life. You can take charge of your health. It just takes discipline, it takes knowledge, and it takes commitment. Be well.